Yo, 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 yo. What's up, world? How y'all doing? We back like we never left, man. Would you agree, Hendo?
Yes, indeed.
Man, we got another special guest, man. I feel blessed, man. It's an honor and a privilege, man. Ladies and gentlemen, Chris just joking. No, I'm not joking. Chris just joking.
What's going
What's
on,
up?
fellas? Appreciate y'all having me, man. Appreciate y'all having me. And I got to throw in that Galloway, good to be seen.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yes.
Appreciate you for dropping by.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
man. It was dope. When we did the little collab, like when was that? I don't even remember when it was. Um, but that collab that we did, um, it got heavy. It got heavy. People opening up. So no, I'm excited about this. It's usually football talk, but it's always good to change lanes and chop it up with you guys about more than just sports and stuff like that.
Indeed.
Absolutely. You know what I mean? This YouTube game, you know what? It's deeper than a game. Real talk. And we going to jump right in. But before we jump in, Hendo loves when I do this, Chris. The man, the legend, the myth, the man that makes it all possible. Ladies and gentlemen, Hendo. the other episode, right? I had the applause in the back. I'm gonna have to bring that back.
Please, please
Yeah.
please don't do that, bro.
Yes, man. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, we gonna dive right into it, bro. Man, tell us about yourself, Chris.
I'm like you said, Chris. Born and raised in Brooklyn, New York. Single mom. You know, regular old inner city story. Saw junkies, crackheads, crime, all of that stuff. But my mom did her best, and you know, it's been a wild ride, but it's been a good one too. I'm blessed in many ways. A lot of people who grow up in those kind of situations, they tend to dwell on the negative. But luckily, my mom she kind of taught me to be a glass half full kind of person.
Mm-hmm.
So I never really lean on those negative situations like that. So I always been very thankful for things that I do have rather than things I don't have.
Mm-hmm.
Listen. I'm gonna tell you a story. So, growing up, and Drake can maybe attest to some of this. Growing up in Baltimore,
Mm-hmm.
you know, I can't speak for other places. When you grow up in Baltimore, you think you know it all. You
Mm-hmm.
think if you go from East Baltimore to West Baltimore, you'd have been all around the globe. Like for some reason, that 15-minute ride, you just feel like you know it all. I can't explain it. We just feel like, yo, I've been in Towson. I've been like all these places 15 minutes from where we are, no matter where you at in Baltimore. But there was always a lot of guys from New York that moved to Baltimore, moved to Maryland. So I have a lot of friends from New York, and they always was talking that New York stuff, and I'm like, yo, chill. Like, yo, if New York all that, why are you here? Until I took a trip to New York.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna tell you, Dre. I don't know if you've ever been to New York, Dre, but
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna tell you like this. It's something magical about that place. It's something about when you're in that city, you can feel the difference. Like when
Mm-hmm.
I'm in New York, I can feel like, yo, this place is on sacred ground. Like New York is a very special place. And do you think that people from New York, Chris, are more, I don't want to say more privileged. Do you feel like they have more of an advantage mentally than most other places? I know like Cali, New York, Chicago, like it's opportunity. So do you think that being from New York gives you a leg up on most people?
I think it kind of prepares you for the like it kind of prepares you for like harsh realities of things,
Mhm.
like in whatever type of situation, because there's so many different mixes of people. Like growing up here, like you know how to deal with white people, you know how to deal with
Mm-hmm.
black people, you know how to deal with Puerto Ricans, you know how to deal with Dominicans, you know how to deal with Chinese, you know how to deal with Jewish, like
Facts.
you know how to deal with so many different scenarios and like different cultures that I mean you could go to Iowa and it's like yeah I could deal with this too. Like it
Mm-hmm.
just it you so
Right.
used to having to deal with so many people in this melting pot that I think that it prepares you for that. But I'm surprised that you felt that way because a lot of people from here feel like it's losing that feeling that you talk about, Hendo.
Mhm.
Because like my neighborhood, for example, like you look at my neighborhood, it's called Williamsburg, Brooklyn.
Mm-hmm.
And if in the '90s, if you said you from Williamsburg, people would have thought you was an immigrant, a junkie,
Mm.
or an artist,
Mm-hmm.
like one of those starving artists. And now, if you look it up, it's like the gentrification capital of the world. It's like one of the most expensive places you could live in New York.
Mm-hmm.
And like it's losing all of its culture pretty much. Like you still got your little nooks and crannies where you still feel like the old way,
Mhm.
but for the most part, a lot of people here they feel like over the last 15 years or so that New York's kind of been losing that essence of itself and
Right.
of the culture.
Okay, because when Dre was growing up, way back, back before hip hop started. Before hip hop started, Dre was born, and it was kind of a mindset. And you grew up, you went to school, you went to college, you got a job, you had your steady Eddie, and you kept pushing. But for me, the thing that amazes me, and even to this day, and Dre, you and I have talked about this. Yo, New York is one of the few places that I know where dudes do not have a 9 to 5 job, but pay their bills monthly. And I think I love that most about New York. Dudes will find a hustle to pay their bills on a monthly basis without having strictly that 9 to 5 job. I love that about New York.
Hey man, when if you got that apartment in the projects that's been in your family since the '60s, and you're paying like $300 rent, you could get away with doing stuff like that.
Got you.
Yeah. Well, being as though New York is a hip hop mecca,
Right.
selfishly, that's one of the reasons I love it. I ain't gonna hold you. I love the fashion in New York
Mhm.
as well as the hip hop. And man, you're from where my idols are.
Right.
Big and Hove, all of the spitters, man. Fab, AZ. You got a lot of dope artists, from Brooklyn. So having that experience, walk us through growing up hip hop.
Man,
With hip hop, I'm sorry.
so it was like a transitionary period for me. I was born in '88.
Mm-hmm.
All my uncles are '70s heads.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So what I got put onto first was like the rapping Duke. Like I thought the rap because we used to put that on at birthday parties.
Right.
So I used to be that da ha like I thought that was it. Like I was like, okay, this is dope.
Right.
But then my cousins who are older than me, like 2-3 years older than me, they
Mhm.
were like, "What are you doing with this bubble gum stuff?" Like, and then
Mhm.
they're the ones that put me on to Wu Tang, Mob
Mhm.
Deep, stuff like that.
Mhm.
And then so it was like I was kind of stuck in the middle of both generations because my mom and my uncles they would listen to the old stuff, and then my cousins they would put me on to the newer stuff that was in the '90s,
Mhm.
that grimy stuff. And
Mhm.
it was great. I loved it. I'm happy that I was able to experience both because music is so important. Like just whatever mood you in, you could find a song that could get you, where you need to be on that specific day. So being able to be in New York for some of the, biggest um, you know, biggest artists that ever came out, like I remember when DMX came out. DMX is my favorite rapper.
Mhm.
And I
Yeah.
remember like that feeling, like it was '97. But I remember that feeling, like you saw all his posters up
Mhm.
everywhere you went, every single where you went. Didn't matter. Brooklyn, Manhattan, Queens, Bronx. His poster was everywhere, and it just felt like something building.
Mhm.
And then
Mhm.
that his album dropped, and it was just like to this day, I never seen a artist like just be able to come on the scene like that the way that he did. It was crazy, and I'm happy to have been able to experience that because it was a different feeling at that time,
Mhm.
Mhm.
and I don't think it's something I'll be able to ever feel again, or this generation will feel because it's like you don't really get those build ups to albums anymore.
Mhm.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
just like, oh snap, Drake dropped something tonight, like
Mhm.
that's it. But
Yeah.
it's like you had to wait and you had that anticipation. like, oh snap, it's gonna drop, and then you see those things, and then you got the little beefs, with, you hear like those little stories of like Jay battling Big L, and it's like, damn,
Mm,
that happened, and then it's like, yeah, they was going bar for bar till like 5 in the morning, and it's like,
mm,
that those legends created. It's a good feeling.
mm,
Man, oh
mm.
man. See, I told you that's why
Um,
I know that's why I knew I like Chris. That's my
yeah,
DMX.
yeah,
Right,
yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
That's my dude. And I told you my cousins were older than me, so I'm half
Mhm.
Dominican. So my cousins, they will always lie to me. I'm the youngest of my cousins. So they was
Right.
like, "Yo, that dude's Dominican." I was like, "Word?" It was like, "Yeah, he Dominican." I was like,
Ah,
"Damn, for like 2 years, I thought DMX was Dominican."
man.
Listen, so much respect to DMX, not even just for his music. And Dre, you know this. DMX,
Hmm.
DMX would come to Baltimore
Facts.
and
Yeah.
walk down the dustiest streets.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Dolo.
Even with all that success and money, he just
Yeah.
come walk around, nobody mess with him, and I respected him for that. I respected him for the fact that he got his fame and success, and he didn't need the jewelry, he didn't need to be
Hmm.
flashy. He had the dog chain, and that was him. So yeah, DMX is one of the greatest and one of my favorite MCs of all time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
mine as well, man. I'm envious, man. I I wish, hopefully, in our lifetime, we can see some type of remnants of that here in Baltimore. We have a hip hop culture here, but it's nothing like New York. You know what I mean? Atlanta, LA. And I don't know why that is. Hendo and I, we wrestle with that topic all the time. But man, I mean, who don't love New York, man? Who don't love New York, man?
Philadelphia, Washington,
Philly,
Dallas.
DC, yeah, yeah, Houston,
Hmm.
yeah, yeah.
I was just
I
talking
don't.
football teams. I was just talking football teams. I thought the NFC East.
Speaking, that's a good segue, man. You got a YouTube show. Tell us a little bit about the YouTube show, bro.
Oh yeah, Deep Cover is Deep Cover podcast. We actually gonna be back next week. I've been saying that for like the last few weeks, but this time is for real. I got the for real stamp that we're gonna
Okay.
be back next week. So we're gonna be recording on Wednesday, so we'll probably be dropping it next Thursday. So yeah, be on the lookout for that. Deep Cover podcast. I do that with Michael Crawford and Kerry Stevenson. So we've been doing that for a few years now.
Shout out to them. I missed the time again. What time?
Well, we just drop it in the morning, like Thursday morning,
Okay.
it'll be out. So usually by like 9 a.m. So probably like 9 a.m. next Thursday, it'll be out.
Dope,
Okay.
dope, dope. What influenced you guys to create a channel?
So it was actually just organic. Like we one day we was just like, yo, let's start up a DFS group, like just a weekly DFS tournament, and that's how it started. And then we was like, yo, we need to have a conversation. And we had a three-way phone call, not
Mm,
even streaming, nothing. This was like 2019, I think it was.
Mhm.
It was like a 3-hour conversation, like just about like how media portrays these guys to be robots. And when
mm,
they're humans, there's a human element to the game. And we were just talking about that and how like it's mostly at that time, it was mostly just like a lot of white people just commenting on these players and where they're from and the things that they do. And it's like, how can you have a perspective on where they're from, what they've been through, if you don't know what it's like where they're from?
Mhm.
mhm,
You always going to look at it through those jaded eyes. So we thought that there was a lack of that voice there to speak, not on behalf of the players, but in a way of humanizing them. And then
mhm,
at like 3 hours, we was like, damn, we probably should have recorded this.
mm,
And then that's where the idea came to start
mhm,
the Deep Cover podcast.
mm,
And he's talking to you, Mr. Caucasian, Stephen A. Smith.
mm. And
That dude, man.
and you know what, Coach, he was on here a couple weeks back, man. And I brought this up last week, but man, this really stuck with me, man. And he hit it on the nail on the head, man. I feel like content creators, they give you the real deal. I'm not gonna say I'm against corporate and its design, but it's a cookie cutter design. I feel like YouTubers, content creators are more organic. It's coming from a real space, from raw feelings. You
Right.
know, we don't have the corporate suit and ties telling us what we can and cannot do. You know, and to
Yeah.
be honest, I mean, it's no big secret. I'm not the biggest sports enthusiast, right? But listening to y'all guys, I feel like I'm not gonna say y'all dumb it down, but y'all make it make sense. You get what I mean? So
Yeah.
when I hear y'all, I'm like, okay, I get it. You know, I'm excited to hear and learn and to hear what y'all guys got to say. I feel like some of the big networks, they're just like the local news, man. They got this 10, 15-minute rotation. Then you turn around and they just reiterate what they just said. You know what I mean? So I love that, man. But sports, football, um, why football?
So football, I didn't really like football that much growing up. I was more of a baseball, basketball person.
Mm-hmm.
I thought I sucked at football because I was playing with guys that was 2, 4 years older than me because I was playing with my cousins.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
So like baseball, I can get away with that a little bit. Basketball, I get away with that a little bit. Football, like if kids is 2, 4 years older than you, they're gonna whoop your ass. So
Right.
I was like, I'm not good at that sport. But then like sixth grade, I started playing with kids my age, and I was like, oh, I don't suck. Like I'm alright in this. And
Mm-hmm.
throughout high school, like I started playing. Um, then I suffered a bad injury,
Mm-hmm.
um, and that's actually what got me into the draft.
Mm-hmm.
I was laid up. I had like wires in my mouth and stuff.
Oh
Mm.
man.
It was
Mm-hmm.
the 2004 NFL draft, and I
Mm-hmm.
never watched it before. I heard about the draft, but I never really cared about it. And
Mm-hmm.
that's what got me into the draft. And then just playing football all through high school. Football was very big for me because high school was a difficult time for me. Like just home life. So
Mhm.
that was my getaway, and that was a place where I could be the man and
Mm-hmm.
just forget about everything.
Mm-hmm.
And it was huge for me. Huge, and to this day, sports is still huge for me. It's a huge outlet. It's therapeutic for me. So
Mm-hmm.
it's always been a big thing in my life.
Mm-hmm.
Why the Baltimore Ravens?
So I used to play corner, but
Mhm.
I got bored playing corner. Uh, People wasn't throwing my way, so I was like, I want to play safety. Like I want to be in the mix a little more.
Yep.
And back then, like it. Well, how it used to be back then was you had to be big to play safety. Like
Mm-hmm.
Right.
it wasn't no 5'8" safeties really like that.
True.
So my coach, he was like, "You want to play safety? You gotta watch Ed Reed."
Mhm.
So I was like, "Oh, okay, Ed Reed." And then Dion joined the Ravens,
Yeah, he did.
and Dion was my favorite player all time. So I was like, "Oh, this is destiny. This is gonna be my team."
Right.
So that I've been rocking with them ever since.
Nice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what's up, man. Let me ask you a question. Sports, hip hop. What's your thoughts on athletes rapping?
I mean, if you good, go ahead, knock it out the park. I got a little bias.
Mm-hmm.
For me, my favorite athlete rapper is Roy Jones Jr.
Mm.
I love me some Roy, man. I love
Mm-hmm.
me some Roy. Like it
Mm-hmm.
just it just ignorant
Mm-hmm.
It
is
is.
is but it gets you hyped up. Like it does the job that it needs to do.
Mm-hmm.
So I've always loved Roy Jones song. To this day, I still pump it in the gym.
Mm.
Nice. Nice.
Yeah.
I like
That's
Dame. I like Dame Lillard. I
he's
think that
nice.
Dame. I think Dame Lillard got some bars.
That he does. That he does, man. I feel the same about Dame. I really like Dame a lot. Um I, in the beginning, I felt like it was a little insulting. You know, I love Shaq, entrepreneur, athlete. I mean, you name it. You know what I'm saying? But when he was doing the rhyming, and then he did that joint with the Foo Snickers, and I hated. And hey, I never want smoke. I'm just keeping it a buck. I did not like the Foo Snickers.
I didn't either.
And when Shaq did that, I was mad at him for a minute. Them and them, them and those sneakers made me mad at him for a hot second, right? But I love Shaq. You know what I mean? But then you had people like AI. You know what I mean? I wish that project would have came out, man. But to me, when AI did it, it felt real. It felt like he was representing us. You know what I mean?
Of course, because
you know
everybody
who was
loved
terrible? You know
Kobe Bryant. Rest in peace.
Oh yes,
Kobe was terrible, man.
Kobe was
my
horrible.
God.
Yeah,
terrible. Burned up.
Yeah. And I think he had a ghostwriter, didn't he? That's even worse.
But look, Dre, but listen, and I understand what you just said. You feel like it's disrespectful for athletes to become rappers. But on the flip side, rappers think that they're athletes. Why do you think we have all these celebrity basketball games, these celebrity baseball games? Because rappers believe that they are really athletes. It's the same thing, just 180.
Some of those dudes are pretty nice, man.
Just like some of the athletes are pretty nice at rapping. It's the same thing.
Touche. Yeah, you know, but I feel like, you know, now it's hand in hand, man. I feel like the world cannot live without hip hop or sports.
True.
Now I'm trying to think back, and y'all could correct me on this, but I know before Hove made that partnership with the NFL, I don't know what happened with us and them. Oh, I guess it was the what's dude's name that nailed?
Colin
Kaepernick. I guess he created the tension. You know what I mean? And for a slight second, everybody was, you know what I mean? Like I ain't fooling with football like that, right? But now we're in a better place, man. And the halftime show with Dr. Dre and them, I don't think they could top that ever. But it just goes to show that hip hop is well needed, even though Hendo and I feel like it's dying. Chris, what's your thoughts on it? Do you think hip hop is alive and kicking? You think it's going anywhere?
See, I struggle with this because, like, when I opened up, I said my uncles, they used to talk garbage about Wu-Tang and, you know, everybody that was coming up, and it was like, this is not real music.
Right.
And you know, now I'm 35 now, and I couldn't tell you what the top 5 hip hop songs are. I couldn't tell you. Now, is that because hip hop is dead, or is that because it's just that what's popular now is not for me? It's not made for me. You know. But if you ask a 20-year-old, they might say, "Yeah, hip hop is great right now." You know. But for me personally, I'm never looking out for anything new, to be honest. I'm usually just in my own little playlist of my old stuff that I like, and every now and then I'll hear something, you know, every blue moon I'll hear a new song that I like, but for the most part, I usually just stick to the old stuff.
So my question to both of y'all is, the music that they have nowadays, is that hip hop or is it just rap?
That's true. There is a distinction. There is a big distinction because, you know, right now that drill stuff is real popular. You know, all over. I mean, there's a dude, I follow this dude from London, and drill. I'm like, damn, how the hell they made it all the way over there? And it's like, damn. But yeah, it's a distinction between hip hop and rap. You know, I think there are some hip hop artists out now. I can't tell you their names, but I've seen them out there, like, you know, actually trying to be lyrical, trying to, you know, have a message in their stuff. But that stuff right now is not really what's hitting the mainstream.
I agree. Shout out to Bazel, man, on the low. He sent me stuff with these new guys, man, and it's some talented guys out there. I just feel like I don't know if the machine isn't behind you. It's kind of it reminds me of a time when you had to look for hip hop. I feel like we lived through that as well. I feel like we had a little era with the Tribes, the De La, and those type of guys. The Moni Loves, Latifah. We had that little pocket where it was conscious rap, but you kind of had to search for it. You know what I mean? They were more feeding you the popular. You get what I'm saying? And I feel like
destructive.
yeah, and I feel like is we're taking a turn that way, and I feel like today's society, if it's not, and Hendo and I talked about this before. I don't know if social media. I'm still on the fence with this technology and all. I don't know if it puts us in a place where if it's not in our face, you know what I mean. If it don't excite us in the very first seconds, that we're not checking for. Like for an example. I got to the point, I found myself doing this, where I cannot sit down and watch an entire show without picking up my phone, picking up my iPad or my laptop. And I'm like, damn, why is that? You get what I'm saying? It's scary.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So maybe, and this is just me thinking out loud at this moment, maybe that's what hip hop is suffering from. You get what I mean? And maybe it's our fault. Maybe they don't have enough examples, even though Nas came out. You know what I mean? Nas came
It's
out.
not our fault, sir.
He had a. You don't think it's our fault?
It can't be our fault. Listen, we as a people, we as a culture, we don't have enough power to overcome the man. We don't have enough influence. No matter what we could have done, no matter the rappers that came out or the speeches or the protests or whatever we could have did, nothing is going to beat that man, the man coming behind them saying, bruh, you want to get out the projects? Hey, you want to provide for your mother? You got a baby on the way? I got you. Just rap this dumb shit right here and I'll make you a star. Nothing's going to stop that.
Yeah. You know the sad thing about it, we have so many guys that made it out. You got the Diddies, the Dre's, the Jay-Z.
Don't talk about the Diddies. Don't talk about the Diddies over here, sir.
Why not? What's your
if you
what's
ask
your
Chris
problem with
Ashford,
Diddy?
Hey man, you gonna blow up this podcast.
Where do I begin?
Oh man.
You already saw what happened when we did that Russell Simmons one.
Maybe we need to circle back. You know, I all joking aside, I hate to kick anybody while they're down.
This man's a multi-millionaire. When he's down, what?
Hey man, that's the best time to kick somebody, like my man Kerry says.
Yeah, and I don't know. It don't look good for him, man. It don't look good, and we in this Me Too movement. You know, it could be real repercussions of that, man. He got kids in the family.
Whoa. What does him having kids in the family have to do for him suffering the repercussions of his actions? You do wrong, you do the crime, you do the time. I don't care what you have behind you. Like that doesn't, because you're rich and you roll with certain people, that doesn't make you exempt from laws and rules. If all of these allegations are true, you need to suffer just like if I would have done them. Man, I don't care. You got a family. A lot of people got families. Cassie has a family. He didn't think about that, did he?
Touche.
I agree.
Touche. Yeah. Well, I don't know if hip hop is lost or if it's dying.
It's
every other day. Yeah, it's underground. Every other day, I wrestle with a new thought and a new way to look at it all. You know what I mean?
I think what you brought up, like that era, like that like underground backpack era, I think that's alive, because I think there's a group of people who they don't like this new stuff that's out, and now is like you can actually go and find like whole communities of people who want to listen to the same stuff you want to listen to, and you could find those groups probably easier than we could, before, because I know I didn't grow up with no like internet and stuff like that, so now you could find these groups and find these people and be like, oh, let's have a meetup and let's go to this artist show and blow this artist up and support them like that. So I think it's different ways to do it. But yeah, like as far as on that level where we see another tribe, like I don't know.
Mhm. Yeah, it's definitely scary times, man. But what frustrates me the most is we have billionaires in hip hop. So I don't know why it's stopping anybody from creating a like we once had a Black Wall Street. You know,
The Illuminati. Excuse me.
got you, got
Oh,
you.
whew, get
Yeah,
that fixed. Oh,
yeah.
listen. Wait a minute. You what? I don't even want to go there. But listen, there will never be. I don't care what year it is. I don't care the climate, the situation, I don't care what's going on right now. There will never be another Black Wall Street ever in life again. We've had this discussion. Every time we've come together and we've made our own, separate from those other people, they come in and destroy it, and they kill hundreds and hundreds of people. So we're now suffering from PTSD of doing our own thing. That's why no matter the person, the money, the intent, you will never find us come together like that again. I told you in 1985, they bombed people in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. First and only time we've bombed ourselves on American soil, and they did it to get rid of us. So yes, we're not going against the masses at all.
Hmm. Hmm. That's a sad state of affairs, man.
It is because we have the resources, we have the knowledge, the schools, the people to, if we wanted to go out and build a separate society. Because my thing is, if you have a group of people that don't want us here, we can go find we can find a plot of land and do our own thing. But the thing is, culturally, they're going to miss out. You're not going to know what's popping. You're not going to know what's hot if we ain't around. I hate to say it like that, not to be egotistical, but if we ain't around, if you don't have minorities and other cultures around, they're not going to know what's popping. They're not going to know what culture to appropriate. They don't know what to steal next if we're off doing our own thing.
It's funny you say that too, because on this day in 1976 is the anniversary of when Fred Hampton was gunned down. And it's like you say, like if let's say somebody wants to be the face of it, somebody like Fred Hampton is the poster child of what's going to happen to you if you dare to be the face of it.
Yep.
And everybody wants to bite the culture. Everybody wants to have a dip a toe in the culture, but nobody actually wants to have the culture there. And it's like what I said earlier with New York. Like, yeah, these people coming in from Idaho, they want to have the New York culture, but they don't want to have the New York culture next door.
How about that?
That's how it goes. That's that way of thinking. I mean, look, everybody around the world wants to be down, wants to, do this, do that. Let them sit down and have a meal with somebody that's black. It's not gonna happen.
Yeah.
But you look at what they dress, you look at the media they consume. What's it gonna be?
Listen, and this is something wild to me. I mean, it's not wild because I already know, but listen, and I know things may have changed over the last decade, maybe, doubt it, but over in Japan, they hate black people. To be on some real stuff, they hate black people. But for some reason now, the trend now is Japanese people with dreads. That's their thing now. Japanese people with dreads. Hey, that makes sense.
Hey man, if Brodney's watching this, cut any dress you see down off over there.
Indeed.
Man, shout out to B, man. Safe travels, man. Enjoy.
Indeed.
One of my favorite.
I'm sorry. Speaking of safe travels, I want to shout out to my daughter Jasmine, who just landed in Egypt. Be safe. Man. I love you.
God is good, man. Safe travels as well. Man, I got this favorite saying. I don't have any tattoos, but if I was to get one, I would use the saying, Carpe diem. So, man, shout out to Jazz, man. Shout out to you, bro. Phenomenal father, man. I seen you. Yes, you are, man.
Okay.
No, you're a phenomenal father, man. I seen you get it in the mud and all that stuff, man. Salute, man.
Yes, sir.
Salute. Yes, that's a huge accomplishment. Shucks, I ain't been to Egypt. I don't know.
I
You been to Egypt, Chris?
Hell no, I never even been to an Egyptian restaurant, let alone Egypt.
listen, and Dre, you know, because we've been riding together for a minute. I'm just so proud of my daughter, just for the simple fact of she didn't take after me to an extent. Because you know, with us, our thing was get this money, but put it to some bills.
Yeah.
I don't got time to be traveling. I don't got time or money to be wasting going around the world. So my daughter only saw me go to work, come home, go to work, come home. So when she was a child and I got sole custody of her, I would always be like, hey, grab your friends. I'm gonna take you out to the mall. I'm gonna take you do this, whatever. And she was, nah, I just want to stay home. And I'm like, man, you getting in this rut that you're like me. And I didn't like that.
Mm.
And I'm just so glad that she got out of that shell and she's doing her own thing. It's scary to me because you know me, I don't like doing stuff because I feel like something gonna go wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And it scares me to death that she's over there by herself. But I'm glad she's experiencing life and experiencing the world. She's almost 30. So, yeah, man, I'm just glad that she's happy.
Yeah. 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 No doubt, man. It must be something out in the universe, man. It's the second week in a row. Second week in a row, man. I don't know what's going on.
It's about the same time his screen just freeze.
Yeah.
He just be mean mugging the camera.
Yeah. Man, oh man.
I ain't gonna say who it is playing with the internet.
How about that? How about that?
Shit, man, shaking around and like,
Yeah.
stream this.
Right. Man, oh man, that must be the cue to call it a night, man. Any parting words?
Chris?
Oh man, I appreciate y'all having me on, man. Like I said, you know, it's always good talking to you guys. You know, going into different avenues. I'm usually on here talking about sports, but it's good to, you know, talk about something else every once in a while and you know, get to the nitty-gritty sometimes. So I appreciate you guys having me on, man.
Indeed. Listen, I'm gonna say this, and you know, Dre, I keeps it a buck. So, a minute ago, Coach came to my stream. We chopped it up. He was like, "Yo, once you come over, we're gonna do this show real quick." And I'm like, "All right, cool." So me, B, Mike, Jose, we came to stream, and then Chris came along, and I'm like, "Who's this guy? Why he bringing extra people in here? I don't know this guy. Is he mean? Is he cool? I don't know." But I'm gonna tell you like this. Yo, Chris is my guy, yo. Like, ever since the first time I heard him talk, I was like, yo, I like him. And then a couple of times he leaned on some people, I was like, yo, I really like this dude. Like, yo, I rock him over so hard. But I'm just playing with all that stuff. But I'm just really glad that YouTube this YouTube experience has opened it up for us to get to meet new people. But I really do mean when I say I rock with you, Chris, I rocks with you, son. And I tell you this, and I know a lot of people say this, but I mean this. Like, yo, anytime you want to come on this show, my show, it don't matter. I want you there because you are a very intelligent brother. You're very sincere. And I just love the fact that you have this knowledge. You know, I can't say I don't get tired of waiting on deep cover to do their thing. You know what I mean? Because it's kind of like it's kind of like you asking your wife or your girl for some, and she like, all right, tomorrow. And then tomorrow comes, and she like, tomorrow. And you like, you said tomorrow yesterday. You know what I'm saying? I just really enjoy what you brothers are doing over there. You know what I'm saying? You break down things that myself and some of the fellas don't do. You break down film, you break down draft picks, and you give a different insight than we do. And you're very knowledgeable in what you do. And when I say I fucks with you, Chris, I fucks you heavy, son. I didn't mean to cuss on your show, Dre.
No, it's all good.
I appreciate that, man, because you know, like you said, like you guys didn't know who the hell I was, and because I'm not really in the YouTube space like that,
right?
So, like I was like, Coach asked me. I knew Coach, you know, for a few years, and he asked me, and I was like, all right, yeah, I'll do it, and I didn't know any of you guys, so the fact that you guys knew each other. And it wasn't like some like animosity. It wasn't like some kind of weirdness. It was just a regular show. Like, you know, just feeling each other out, getting to know each other. And the way you guys open your arms out and, you know, y'all brought me into this space and into this community. Cause it's not just y'all, it's a community. Like, I didn't know it was like this.
Right.
Like, I didn't know you guys had a community like that. Because, like I said, I'm not in the YouTube world.
Right.
So when I saw like how people mess with y'all, like not just one show, not just two shows, like every single project y'all do, you guys got that following with you of, a nice, because I'm a person, I'm more about quality and over quantity.
Mhm.
Mhm.
And y'all got that, because I still always see the same people rocking with y'all. And I appreciate you guys for bringing me into that. And I consider you guys friends. And it's
Indeed.
not, it don't it football, it brought us together. Like just the same thing with me, Mike, and Kerry. Like
Right.
football brought us together, but I don't really care like if we agree on football stuff. Like that
Fact.
doesn't matter to me. Like what matters is, are you a good person? Can I rock with you? Can I have a conversation with you? Can I joke with you?
Mhm.
Like that's what matters to me. Like football stuff, like that's secondary. Like
Right.
that doesn't dictate whether I like you or whether I don't like you, because you think Lamar Jackson got a weak arm or he can't play quarterback. Like I don't care about that. If
Mhm.
you a cool person, like I'm a rock with you. And y'all been nothing but good, no weird stuff. And
Right.
like, the roundup, that was just, the cherry on top, where we all finally got in the same room, and it was just like, this is like we've been here before, you know?
Right.
So I appreciate y'all, man. For real.
Appreciate you. Listen. Ours attract to one another, and good people attract other good people. Because, like you said, out of all the people in this world, out of the six of us, I'm not excluding you, Drake, but I'm just saying, out of the six of us, normally in certain circumstances, you get that one weird dude. And on some real stuff though, you normally get that one weird guy, and he just make everything weird with everybody, and then you got to meet behind scenes and like, yo, let's wait till he leave before we really start
Yeah,
talking. But
yeah.
we don't got to do that. And for me, everything was organic. And you're right, we do have this community. And this shout out to Jose and Bradley, because they brought me into that. And I don't think that's what these people out here are understanding when we say certain things, because I know everybody says it. We're trying to build a community. And my thing is this: yes, I love a subscriber, I love a viewer, I love a patron, I love all of these things. But if you're not the kind of person that I want in this community, I don't give a damn about none of that stuff, because I don't want you to mess up what we have, because it only takes one rotten egg, you know what I'm saying, to spoil the carton. So I'm just glad that you mess with us. I'm glad we can depend on each other. And I do consider you a friend. You know what I'm saying? Because for me personally, I
Appreciate
know I'm a lot. I know I'm a lot. I ain't gonna hold you.
it.
Now, Dre, I can be a lot. And I know when we first started doing the roundup, I know Chris sitting there like, yo, this motherfucker ever shut up? God damn. And I know people think that sometimes. And Dre, sometimes I can go on tangents and I can go for like an hour and 50 minutes and not stop. But just for people, and we had this conversation the other day, Dre. Everybody plays their role, and if you just play your role and be yourself, it doesn't matter what your role is. You don't have to be a leader. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to be the tough one. Chris is the funny one. Ain't nobody gonna doubt that one. But everybody has a role in their crew, and I think everybody's comfortable with their role, and that's why we don't have any issues, because I don't think it's any egos amongst any of us in the whole
Right.
thing. We all have a common goal to see each and every one of us succeed. Like, I ain't gonna hold you. Like, I keep going, and this ain't just for the show. I keep going to deep cover, and I talk about deep cover on my show because I want y'all guys to succeed. You know what I'm saying? I want
Appreciate that.
everybody to succeed. Like, this ain't like, we don't do phony over here. And this is for the people out there. We don't do phony over here. Like, all this is genuine. Like, all this stuff is love. Like, and I know for some of you younger guys, y'all may not be emotionally mature enough, but as a man, you know what I'm saying? I love my brothers. And I have no qualms of saying I don't feel funny or nothing about it, because I'm a man, and when you get to a certain age, you appreciate those around you, because even with Dre, with me and you in this YouTube game, this YouTube game kind of weeded out our real friends, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So when you find some real genuine people, yo, you keep them close. And yeah, I mean, what, Reg? What is your issue, bro? Are you talking to me? You talking to Brazel?
What Reg talking about? Shout out to Reg, man.
I'm sorry. Y'all got me going off again. But I do talk to
man. No, man, I love it, man. That this is what I was talking about, man. Raw emotion, real talk. You know what I mean? Nothing scripted. You know, we just talking from a genuine space, man. I think that's dope, man. I truly do, man. And I appreciate you too, Chris, man. I truly do.
You talking to Chris?
Oh, hey man, that's life.
He
You know,
got he got co-hosts. Like,
that's life, man. I mean, and you know, like see the thing with like that, like a lot of people don't know about deep cover is like if one of us can't record, like we just don't record at all. And you know, a few years ago, you know, I was going through my stuff, you know, through my separation and all of that. And those dudes held me down. Like we might have did like 3 deep cover shows, and the rest of them I was just like, nah, like I don't care about football right now. Like
right.
I don't care about it. And it was like, yo, you know, we could talk, you know, like we don't got to talk about football, but we want to talk with you. And you know, those dudes, they helped me through that, you know, like nobody else knows. So, you know, it like I said, it's deeper than football. And you know, whenever one of us is going through something, like we support each other, you know, and the show could wait. You know, the show will be there when it's there. And you know, I know a lot of people, they, you know, they always on us like, you know, when you gonna come out with another one, when you gonna come out with another one. But you know, everybody got to be right, you know, like mentally, you know, family wise, everybody got to be right. So I think we get to that point next week. So we'll be back, Big Reg. We'll be back next week. So hopefully, and I'm gonna drop something solo too. I'm gonna drop something solo, some draft stuff. So that'll be, and I ordered a green screen too. So I'm moving on up in the world.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
That's what's up. That's what's up. Man, oh man. Well, you know, you got the open door policy, bro. You, the crew,
Facts.
anytime, man. Yep.
Appreciate
Just let
that,
us
man.
know.
Appreciate
Let
it.
us
No
know.
doubt. No doubt.
Yeah.
You know, Mike and Kerry, they big hip hop heads too.
Okay.
Big hip hop
Oh,
heads.
we get them on the show too.
Yeah,
Man,
you
I
more
ain't
than
saying nothing but
welcome.
a thing.
And
Absolutely.
Kerry's from the South too, so you know he
Oh,
got
nice.
that little different flavor.
Okay. Yeah. We gotta set it up. Make it happen. Yeah.
We can do that.
Yeah. Well, any parting words, Chris?
Man, I appreciate what y'all doing, man. You know, giving people a platform to, you know, talk about hip hop, the state of hip hop, you know, things going a little bit deeper than that. So, you know, I love what you guys are doing, and you know, keep doing your thing, man. It's a great
Appreciate
show
it.
to be a part of. I've been a part of some crappy shows, and this is not one of them. So appreciate it.
Thank you.
Man. Yeah. Well, Hendo, I know
Yo,
you said what you had to say, but you got anything you want to add?
I'm done.
All right, man. Well, as y'all know, man, we here, we be back. Hope all is well in the world, man. I'm gonna leave y'all with something, man. Check this out, man.